Morning, everybody. This is the fourth and final PowerPoint that I'm going to have you guys do for Unit 3. This is about the legislative process and how, a bill becomes a law. All right, so speaking of, here's just the classic Schoolhouse Rock, I'm Just a Bill song. So just kind of watch this for a couple minutes or so. And it goes through the whole process of how a bill becomes a law. It's really catchy, too. So moving on to the actual content here, a bill is a proposed law. So before a law, becomes a law, it's a bill. It's something that someone in Congress can propose. People in the House can propose bills. People in the Senate can propose bills. Anyone can have an idea for a bill, but someone in either the House of Representatives or the Senate has to introduce it, though. All right. There are committees in place in each chamber in the House and the Senate. We talked about committees in Unit 2, and the purpose of committees is to handle all the bills that are proposed. There are so many bills that are proposed throughout in Congress that don't actually become laws, and that's the purpose of committees, is to sift through them and see what's a good bill and what's not. All right, just real quick, just click here and open this web page. It won't take you very long, but it's pretty neat. So once you do that, you'll move on to the next thing, how a bill becomes a law. So it's drafted. So someone has to write up a bill first, and then they'll introduce it. And then it will go to a committee. So whatever committee it's concerning, the committee will discuss it. They'll change some things. They'll maybe rewrite it, and then they'll vote on it. And if that committee pushes that bill forward, it will go to whichever house it started in for debate, and then people will debate on it, and then there might be more changes made to it or whatever, and then someone will finally read it on the floor, and then once they've decided on what to do with it, if they want to move forward with it, it will go back to committee. The final changes will be made, and then they will vote on it. Say it started in the House, they'll vote on it in the House, and then it will then go to the Senate. And then from there, it goes to the president for approval. So what actions can a committee take with a bill? Well, they can pass the bill immediately, which rarely happens at first. A lot of the times changes have to be made. They'll mark up a bill, which basically means they'll add amendments to it, add to it, things they want to see in there. These don't always necessarily have to be things related to the bill. It could be something else entirely, but they want to pack it in there. 3, they could replace it with a new bill. 4, they could pigeonhole it, which means basically not let it get out of committee. And lastly, they can kill it with a majority vote, which basically means they just strike it down. They're like, nope, don't like it. So how rules are different for passing laws in the House than in the Senate. In the House, they can... The amendments that they add to bills have to be related to the topic of the bill. So let's say that you're wanting to get an infrastructure bill passed. You can't add something in about education. All right. Rules for debate. There's a time limit for each member to talk, and they must be talking about the bill in the House. So that's the House. The Senate, they can add amendments that don't have to be related to the bill. They can attach what are known as riders, attachments to a bill that are not related to its subject. So a rider is an amendment that is not related to the bill that they're wanting to attach to it. The rules for debate, there are very few rules for debate. There is such thing as called a filibuster, which basically means to talk a bill to death. Throughout history, the filibuster has been used. Sometimes, you can argue for good, but many times the filibuster was used to, prevent civil rights from being passed and stuff like that. Cloture is a vote to end the filibuster. You need at least 60 votes 60 votes are needed to kill a filibuster and officially move forward with trying to pass a bill. There's a lot of debate right now about trying to end the filibuster, because the filibuster is oftentimes, used as a way to prevent things from being passed, and there's a lot of gridlock in Washington, a lot of things not getting done. So there is some people that are out there proposing to get rid of the filibuster so that you just need a simple majority, a 51 to 49 vote, or if the vice president's casting the tie-breaking vote, a 51 to 50 vote to pass a bill. All right, here's just a little quick video about one of my favorite shows, The West Wing, when someone is filibustering a bill because they're wanting to get a certain amendment attached to it. It's pretty neat. And then lastly, what actions can the president take with a bill? There's many things the president can do. Remember, the executive branch is the branch of government that enforces the law. All right, so they can either sign it into the law. So they'll say, yep, like it, put their signature to it, and boom, it's an official law. They can veto it, which basically means they refuse to sign it. And so they'll stamp it with a little thing, which officially marks it as a veto. They can pocket veto it, which basically means that they will just kind of leave it on their desk and do nothing. Pass without signature, so they do nothing for 10 days and Congress is still in session. And lastly, if the president vetoes a bill, Congress can override it, but they have to have a 2/3 vote in both houses, which is hard to do, but it is absolutely possible, and it's happened plenty of times throughout history. All right, so today this was just about the legislative process, how a bill becomes a law, things that the president can do with a bill, filibuster, rules of the House and the Senate, and so forth. So this is kind of a little bit of a throwback to Unit 2. But make sure you take the quiz on the last slide, and that's all I got for you. So have a good day. Thanks.